Ever wonder why you inevitably reach for your phone the absolute second you hit a red light? Or, why you automatically open the fridge to look for a snack, even when you literally just checked it 5 minutes ago? Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are diving into the actual mechanics of why we do what we do. We're going to break down the core concepts from Applied Behavior Simplified. Our main goal here is to completely demystify behavior science, and specifically, look at exactly how reinforcement changes behavior daily. We want to strip away all that academic gatekeeping and show you how these invisible forces are shaping your habits, your routines, and your interactions every single day. So, if you've ever been curious about the hidden psychology guiding your actions, you are definitely going to want to stick around for this.
So, wondering what ABA really is? If you've ever tried looking up applied behavior analysis to solve a real-world problem, you've probably hit a massive wall of dense, technical jargon, right? You start out just trying to figure out why your kid refuses to eat their vegetables, or maybe why your own procrastination is getting so bad, and suddenly, boom, you're wading through these intimidating academic papers talking about differential reinforcement of alternative behavior or complex operant conditioning paradigms. I mean, it's incredibly frustrating. You just want to understand human behavior, but traditional resources often make it feel like you need a PhD just to grasp the absolute basics.
That old way, it leaves us struggling with impenetrable, jargon-heavy research that honestly leaves you more confused than when you started. But there is a new way. We are seeing a massive shift toward making this science easy to understand, highly practical, and completely accessible to absolutely everyone. We're basically taking the science out of the clinical laboratory and putting it right into your hands. Instead of drowning in clinical definitions, you get the actual usable mechanics of why behavior happens. You get a clear lens to view the world, which empowers you to actually use these insights in your real everyday life.
Because let's be real, a science this powerful shouldn't be locked away in university libraries or clinical offices. This simplified approach is all about building an incredibly diverse community for learning behavior science. Human behavior doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens in our messy living rooms, in chaotic grocery stores, and in high-stress corporate offices. Having a shared understanding across all these different environments is just incredibly powerful. It brings together a vibrant, wide variety of people who all share one common thread, a profound desire to truly understand how behavior works, why it happens, and how to gently guide it in a positive direction. So who exactly are we talking about? We're talking about parents, educators, RBTs, BCBA students, behavior analysts, and honestly, anyone curious about behavior. Whether you're a parent trying to negotiate with a toddler, which, let's be honest, often feels like a high-stakes hostage situation, an educator managing a bustling classroom, or a registered behavior technician working directly with clients, this information is custom-built for you. It's for students studying late into the night for their board exams and seasoned behavior analysts looking for fresh ways to communicate with families. And, even if you don't fit into any of those professional boxes and you're just an everyday person curious about why your coworker insists on replying all to every company email, you're going to walk away with actionable insights. The real value of this explainer is in the translation. We're taking incredibly complex, sometimes kind of dry concepts and breaking them down into clear, easy-to-follow lessons. Understanding behavior isn't about memorizing flashcards or reciting definitions for a test. It's about suddenly being able to see the matrix of human interaction playing out in real time, right in front of you. It's about turning dense paragraphs of academic research into functional toolkits. These are practical steps you can understand and actually implement to improve your environment before you even finish your morning coffee. The source material covers a really fantastic spectrum of topics. We've got reinforcement, prompting, behavior assessment, skill acquisition, ethics, autism support, and broader evidence-based strategies. But let's hit pause for a second and zoom in on that very first one, reinforcement. This is the absolute cornerstone of how reinforcement changes behavior daily. Let's simplify a complex term like operant conditioning. All operant conditioning really means is that we learn through the consequences of our actions. And the biggest consequence? Reinforcement. There are two main types, positive and negative, and they are constantly at play in your life. Positive reinforcement is when you add something pleasant to increase a behavior. Think about posting a photo online and getting that rush of likes and comments. That dopamine hit? That's positive reinforcement making you way more likely to post again. Negative reinforcement, on the other hand, and this is a big misconception, isn't a punishment. It's when you remove something annoying or unpleasant to increase a behavior, like hitting the snooze button on your alarm. You smack that button, the terrible noise stops, and you get 5 more minutes of peace. That sweet relief negatively reinforces the habit of hitting snooze again tomorrow. Understanding exactly how these two types of reinforcement silently govern our actions gives you a literal superpower. You can suddenly see why we accidentally reinforce bad behavior in our pets by giving them a treat just to stop their whining, or why a child acts out when they realize it instantly gets your undivided attention. It's all driven by reinforcement. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, if we simplify the science this much, do we lose the rigor? Does this just become pop psychology? Absolutely not. Everything shared in this framework is deeply grounded in rigorous, evidence-based research. Those examples we just talked about, hitting the snooze button or checking your phone for likes, they might seem incredibly simple on the surface, but there are decades of peer-reviewed science backing up exactly why those actions become so deeply ingrained in our neurology. The difference here isn't that we're diluting the quality of the science. We're just changing the delivery method. It remains highly practical and completely approachable, proving once and for all that you definitely do not need to sacrifice scientific accuracy to achieve crystal clarity.
Make behavior science simple, one concept at a time. That is the quote to remember. The secret to mastering all of this isn't overhauling your entire life overnight. It's just about taking it one concept at a time. Consider this your personal invitation to join this growing community of learners without feeling overwhelmed. You don't have to learn it all today. Actually, scratch that. Try this instead. Spend the next 24 hours doing nothing but observing just one concept. Try spotting what secretly reinforces your own daily habits. Notice what makes you reach for the TV remote, or what tiny hidden reward you get from avoiding a difficult conversation. By taking it one concept at a time, you start to build a much deeper foundational understanding. And it's that steady, growing understanding that eventually empowers you to make a lasting, meaningful difference in your environment.
So I'll leave you with this. How could understanding behavior principles change your everyday life? If you could identify the hidden reinforcements driving the friction in your daily routines, what would you change tomorrow? Maybe it's recognizing exactly what reinforces your own bad habits so you can finally break them. Or maybe it's learning how to positively prompt a better outcome with a stressed colleague or a frustrated child. Just imagine the reduction in daily friction and the massive increase in positive connections. It's an incredibly powerful question to consider as you move forward. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep observing the world around you, keep learning, and start looking for those invisible principles of behavior acting in your life today.